Week 9 rookie rankings. And at the top, no surprise, CJ Stroud. We've talked about him. Number 2, I don't know if we've talked about Will Anderson on our rookie rankings so far this season.
Yeah, we did. We talked about I graded him an A last week on Thursday's
Oh,
podcast.
that was the defensive first half of the season. I don't know if we've done top
Okay.
5, top pop or drop rankings.
Right.
So we're going to talk about him here either way. And he had 1 sack coming into last week. He was credited with a sack. Yeah, he has 2 now.
I thought he had 2 going into last week.
Maybe he does. Either way, he has 2 total. Well, we talked about him earlier. He'd only had 1, but as you noted last Thursday, he's doing a lot more in terms of creating pressure, getting after it. And one of my favorite plays from the season, I sent it to Debo last night. We just talked about it earlier. They ran a little TE stunt where he comes in and absolutely ear holds our guy Cody Mock. I mean, ear holes him. I think he knocked him down. I'd never seen a stunt like that before, and he allowed his teammate to come free and end up getting the sack. And at the end of that play against Baker Mayfield, in that play, you can see Will Anderson celebrating like he just won the Super Bowl because he knew what he did was something special. But when we talked last Thursday, I saw one of the comments that you mentioned that he's twitchier than perhaps maybe we gave him credit for. And there's a little push.
I gave him credit for it. There were some other people that didn't give him credit for how twitchy he is.
He is playing extremely twitched up.
Yeah, a colleague of ours that is short and very opinionated says he has no twitch.
So yeah, what did you think of his performance against the Bucks? Where
it's consistent week in and week out. He is fast off the ball. He's got a quick first step. He can affect the passer. He is explosive. He plays down in and down out like it's the last play of his career. And I just love the energy and effort that he plays with. And what you didn't see is last year we talked about it coming out in the draft that they reduced him down to like a 7 technique and even sometimes a 5 technique where that's not his game. His game is 9, and he just goes. Have him pin his ears back and go. And that's how he's playing. And and he, for a rookie, and for DeMeco Ryans to build the program the way he's building, and to have a guy set the tone that's a rookie like he's setting it, that's going to hold. They got franchise quarterback, and I think they have a franchise edge rusher as well, and it's going to continue to get better.
Yeah, he gave right tackle Luke Gedeke all he could handle and then some. Like if he was going against Jordan Morgan, Baker Mayfield would have left that field on the stretcher.
Yes.
No disrespect to Jordan Morgan, but he was getting after it. And by the way, one of the things we should point out, because a lot of folks on social media, fans and media are talking about, man, I bet the Panthers have a lot of buyer's remorse for trading up for Bryce, yada, yada, yada. No one is saying, man, I bet the Texans have a lot of buyer's remorse for trading up for Will Anderson. Everyone's saying, oh, this worked out. Like, this is the thing. This is what it looks like when a trade works out. You get your quarterback, then you come out and get your edge rusher who's getting after it. So credit to that crew, because the Texans had hit a rough patch the last few years, and they seem to be turning the corner.
Yep, they hit the 2 picks out of the park right now.
By the way, number 1, CJ Stroud, Texan. Number 2, Will Anderson, Texan. Number 3, Tank Dell, Texan. 6 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. We talked earlier about his importance on that last drive, but he was getting open all day at all 3 levels.
And he had a couple drops that he could even have a better day.
Oh yeah, he did have a drop on the sidelines, I think, on maybe a comeback.
Yeah, and he had one coming on the inside at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he could have had 8 for 160. But he has been a difference maker. He missed some time earlier in the year with a concussion, but before the concussion, he was balling out. And the thing that struck me, and I think this is the first touchdown he had on the stutter go.
That looks like the touchdown catch to win the game.
Okay, the first touchdown on the stutter go on
because Debo would put something as dramatic up there to show this is the winning touchdown on a skinny post.
Okay, the first touchdown what got my attention wasn't the separation because we know he can move, but the fact that he's only 5'9", and the separation he's able to create effectively makes him not a short receiver because he's so wide ass open that you can just loft the ball out there and he's going to run underneath it, and that's rare. Like you don't see that a lot in the NFL.
No, and that's why smaller receivers, and we talk about it in contested situations, he probably doesn't make those, but because of his unique speed and his ability to create 1 or 2 yards of separation down the field, excellent tracking and deep ball skills, he's just not going to win contested situations.
So Debo wants me to ask you, Tank Dell is the blank best receiver what best rookie wide receiver? Excuse me. Like where does he rank among your rookie wide receiver performances?
Well, why would put him
That's pretty good. You got a joke book, I see. Debo's writing me these tongue twisters.
Yeah, I would put him probably in the top 3 or 4.
So JJ's number 1.
Who?
Justin Jefferson's probably number 1.
It says rookie. Read the script.
I think ever, or just this rookie class.
No, I'm saying just this year. I mean, you have Addison, okay. You have Flowers, you have JSN, you have Rick Sky Puka, where he fits amongst this class. Obviously, not Quentin Johnston is not going to be on this list right now. But
disrespectful to Quentin.
Where Rick has him here.
Quentin had a catch last night. Oh yeah. Sorry, I can't read the words that are written. I can't comprehend them either. Okay, this year's draft class.
That's all right, Ryan. That's fine. Everybody will make mistakes, and then in 70 days, I would. Well, wow.
It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. All right, yeah. So this draft class. So top 3. So Jordan Addison, and then Zay Flowers, and then Tanker all in the same conversation. I'm guessing those are your 3.
Yeah, those would probably be my top 3 right now.
Tank or Puka?
Tank. Puka's coming back to earth.
Yeah, because he's got a guy with no arms throwing him the football.
Puka's coming back to earth.
Puka Spielman, how disrespectful. Great job by Tank Dell. He did have those 2 drops. Rick had to point out the negative, but he was the reason they won that game. And he, again, CJ is, the rising tide's lifting all boats. Nico Collins is having a career year in part because of CJ. Dalton Schultz is doing his thing. Noah Brown went absolutely off, the former Cowboy. So they are getting after it. Tank's number 3 on our list. Number 4. Keaton Mitchell, running back out of ECU, undrafted. I thought he would get drafted at least. He did not. Baltimore Ravens took him, and I'm sure they're glad they did. 9 rushes for 138. And one of the things we talked about in the pre-draft process, because he's undersized, is that he didn't run between the tackles like our guy Devon Achane. But he was running between the tackles against the Seahawks, and he was. If you give him a little daylight, you can meet him in the end zone because he's got some burner speed to him.
Yeah, I went back and looked. He's had a total of 16 offensive snaps, 14 of them coming this game. So this was the first chance you got an opportunity to see him in regular season. But there's no question about the speed and the burst through the hole. They didn't use him at all in the passing game. So I think he's a nice little complimentary back to Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus, who's kind of going to be their workhorse, but gives them an added element of speed and playmaking ability to their offense.
Yeah, they only threw to him once, and it was on a little screen and went for -4 yards. So perhaps he's an asset in the pass game. He didn't need to be in that blowout win over the Seahawks, but he provided some explosiveness, and he's pretty twitchy behind the line of scrimmage. Showed a little patience behind the line of scrimmage, letting the blocks develop, and then hitting the gas. So that was fun. Good for old Keaton Mitchell out of ECU. Number 5. This was a late ad, Rick. I don't know if you saw it. If not, don't worry about it. Dalton Kincaid, 10 catches in that loss against the Bengals. He's had 40 catches this year and 45 targets. Like he had one drop.
Yeah, as soon as Knox broke his wrist, all of a sudden you're seeing why they drafted Dalton Kincaid, because he takes it to another level. And we talked about when he came out in the draft that the thing that he can do is create mismatches, especially with his route running ability and when you put him in the slot. And we talked about him, I think, in our preview or our review midway point on offensive rookies. And the more opportunities he's getting, the more you're seeing how unique he is as a pass catcher.
Yeah, he moves not like a tight end in space. He moves like a, 230-pound wide receiver, whatever you want to call it. But he's a matchup problem. And they threw to him quickly. A lot of flats in this game, just trying to get him involved early. He did have the fumble late. That ain't why they lost. But he appears to be a bigger part of this offense going forward. Let me ask you this, and I don't know how far down this road you want to go. Is Steph Diggs asking for the ball? That's not uncommon for number 1 wide receivers. Could that be a problem in terms of ball distribution? If you want to get the ball more to Gabe Davis or the ball more to Dawson, not Dawson Knox, but to Dalton Kincaid?
You just got to make sure you manage it, I guess would be the best way to put it. So if it's becoming a distraction and it's all of a sudden starting to get into the quarterback's head that, okay, throw me the ball, don't worry about throwing it to Kincaid or to any of the other weapons they have on the offense, and that becomes an issue. But as long as they're winning, it becomes more of an issue because it's probably magnified when you're losing.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Diggs was complaining. I'm just thinking out loud about because Gabe Davis went a little stretch there without catching the football. Dalton Kincaid's now getting more involved, and they did lose that game. Although they can't beat the Bengals, that's just their kryptonite right now. Some honorable mentions: Luke Musgrave got on the radar there, 3 catches, 51 yards, had a nice touchdown. Byron Young on the other side of the ball, the edge rusher out of Tennessee, is getting after it. Darius Davis had a touchdown, a punt return, I believe, on Monday night. Tuli Tuipulotu had 2 sacks. We talked about him earlier on Piper Drop. Rookie edition, and he's continuing to flash alongside Khalil Mack and now Joey Bosa. And I don't know if that means they're turning the corner because they beat a Jets team. The offense had like 25 yards of offense, but whatever. That's a conversation for another time. So shout out to those guys. I'm going to take a quick break, Rick, and we're going to come back and look at this updated draft order and what it means for the teams looking for quarterbacks.